I spent years planning my dream wedding. Yesterday, my fiancé Stein's mother wore a white gown to our ceremony. What happened next shocked everyone, including me. When I first met James 3 years ago, his mother Diane seemed perfectly lovely. She was polite, asked thoughtful questions, and seemed genuinely interested in my life. The first red flag appeared during our engagement dinner when she casually mentioned that no woman will ever be good enough for her son. I laughed it off as a joke. James later assured me she was just being protective. She'll warm up to you, he promised. She didn't. Over the next year of wedding planning, Diane questioned every decision. The venue was too pretentious. The color scheme was unflattering. The menu would give everyone indigestion. When I chose a classic ivory gown, she sighed dramatically and said, "Well, it's not like you could pull off pure white anyway." James kept insisting she meant well. I wanted to believe him. 2 days before the wedding, my maid of honor mentioned she'd overheard Diane shopping for something special to wear. When I texted my future mother-in-law asking about her outfit, we'd agreed on navy blue, she replied. "Don't worry about what I am wearing. Appa, on yourself." Yesterday morning was a blur of hair, makeup, and champagne toasts with my bridesmaids. I didn't see Diane until I was standing at the entrance of the church, seconds from walking down the aisle, and there she was in the front row wearing what could only be described as a wedding gown, floor-length, white satin beaded bodice, even a small tiara. My father felt me freeze beside him. "Want me to spill my wine on her?" he whispered. I shook my head, took a deep breath, and started walking. Throughout the ceremony, I could feel Diane's triumphant stare. James seemed oblivious, focused entirely on our vows, but my bridesmaids were fuming, and my mother looked ready to commit a felony. At the reception, Diane made her grand entrance, twirling in her white dress and accepting compliments from confused guests who thought it must be some sort of wedding tradition I had approved. I was at our sweetheart table, picking at my dinner, when James suddenly stood up. "Excuse me," he said, tapping his glass. The room fell silent. My heart sank. Was he going to give an unplanned toast, acknowledge the uncomfortable situation, make excuses for his mother? Instead, he walked directly to the server station, picked up a full bottle of red wine, and walked purposefully toward his mother's table. Without saying a word, he uncorked the bottle and poured the entire contents down the front of Diane's white dress. The room gasped. Diane screamed. I sat frozen in disbelief. "I told you 3 times not to wear white," James said calmly. "You decided to disrespect my wife on our wedding day. This marriage comes first now, not your feelings, not your jealousy." He handed the empty bottle to a stunned waiter, returned to our table, took my hand, and whispered, "I am sorry it took me so long to see it." Diane fled the reception in tears. James's father stayed behind to apologize to us both, admitting he tried to talk her out of the dress, but she always does whatever she wants. For the rest of the night, James never left my side. We danced, laughed, and celebrated with people who actually supported our marriage. This morning, my phone exploded with texts from Diane claiming we had humiliated her and ruined an expensive dress. She's demanding we pay for it. James blocked her number without responding. I married a man who finally chose me over his mother's manipulation. That's a better wedding gift than anything on our registry. Sometimes the most beautiful part of a wedding isn't the perfect decorations or the carefully planned moments, it's discovering exactly